Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With an active monsoon season expected this year, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help, offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroofing.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroofing.com. This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Saturday, the 26th of July. I'm Michael Groff. This is typically the heart of the monsoon season, and instead we're getting dry conditions, temperatures warming up, daytime highs pretty close to 110 degrees by tomorrow and Monday. Thunderstorm chances pretty much non-existent statewide today, and only very small chances of storms tomorrow over the extreme eastern and southeastern portions of the state. Now, as we go into the week ahead, monsoon moisture is expected to increase over portions of the states for some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms coming in. But the big question is, will we see anything here in the lower deserts, including Phoenix? Well, we're going to try and figure that out. What about temperatures? Are we going to cool it off a little bit? Are we going to get some more humidity in here? So many questions, so many answers that we're hoping to find. And let's do it right now as we dive on in and discuss. First, let's take a look at that almanac from yesterday. 109 degrees, the afternoon high. How about that morning low of 80? And that's at Phoenix Sky Harbor, which means most of us across the valley started the day out in the 70s. And again, for late July, that's kind of unusual, I would say. That's what dry air will do for you, though. I guess it's the one advantage of not having the monsoon around. 106 and 85 are the averages for this time of year, nowhere near that record high from that hellscape year of 2023, 119 degrees. Oof. Outside now at 9 o'clock, we've got sunny sky. It's 90 degrees at Sky Harbor, but look at that dew point. This is the 26th day of July. Normally dew points way up in the upper 50s or 60s, even 70s. It's normally very muggy out there, but not today. Dew points at 29, relative humidity 11%, wind light barometer is steady. Satellite picture out here across the southwest. That is about as anti-monsoon as you're going to get. Our normal subtropical ridge that would be sitting somewhere near the Four Corners to bring that monsoonal flow in here, nope, it's over the southeast United States. We are instead under the influence of a broad trough in an area of low pressure that's along the California coast. Southwesterly wind in here, that's off the East Pacific. That's keeping the air very dry, very stable. Yeah, we had some high clouds in here yesterday afternoon, but that's about it. We'll see a few high clouds again this afternoon and tonight. But other than that, no real sensible weather for a while. Now, ultimately, that low to the west and northwest of us is going to start to lift out and weaken just a bit. There's a broader low, a parent low, if you will, that's way up there over the northeast Pacific, the Gulf of Alaska, and off the west coast of Canada. And that's not going to go anywhere for about the next 10 days. I don't think I've ever seen such a persistent blocked pattern, such a persistent low up there. I can't remember the last time I saw that, but it is quite the pattern, and it is this very stuck pattern that we're in that's sort of precluding us from getting any real deep monsoon moisture in here. And you can see right now over Arizona, it's almost a case of severe clear, and any monsoon moisture is way off to the east and southeast of us across northeast Mexico, parts of Texas. The watch warning map, obviously with that ridge over the southeast U.S., that's where you'll find the heat. The middle Atlantic coast, the South Atlantic, middle Atlantic coast, and across parts of the southeast, the Midwest, the northern plain states. We've got extreme heat warnings, extreme heat watches, heat advisories. They extend from parts of the Dakotas and Minnesota, Wisconsin, south and eastward, all the way down to North Florida. Now, here in the southwest, it's pretty quiet. We have red flag warnings, obviously, to the north of us, over the Intermountain West, with the dry conditions, the low humidity, breezy conditions, all of those prime ingredients for wildfires. And with a lack of any monsoonal thunderstorm activity, that's just making the situation even worse. And I sure hope we start to turn it around in the month of August. Here's the convective outlook for today. Got the standard slight risk of severe storms, level 2 out of 5 over, again, parts of the Dakotas, places like Bismarck, Fargo, Grand Forks, over toward Bemidji. Broader severe weather risk for the northern Rockies and over around Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. But again, in the southwest, nothing. Speaking of nothing, the precipitation outlook valid through next Saturday morning from the WPC. Rain amounts in Phoenix doesn't look like much, does it? Statewide, maybe as much as 1/2 inch over the higher terrain in a few spots, but generally speaking, rain amounts will be under 1/4 of an inch. Obviously, your amount will vary. Any thunderstorm can drop more than what's shown here. This represents an average of what we'll see across the region. But one thing to note on this graphic is these numbers are going down. And somebody's inevitably going to say, hey, Mike, I thought you were telling us that we were going to have an increase in monsoon activity this upcoming week. Well, about that, let's get into it right now. As I hide under the desk, here we go. Let's get to the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go, GFS. It's the 06Z run. This is valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet off the ground. Here's a surprise. A deep upper low is over the Gulf of Alaska. I know, you're shocked. I'm shocked. Downstream from that, we've got a trough and an area of low pressure along the California coast and extending into the western U.S. We are under a broad southwesterly flow. Our subtropical ridge is over the southeastern United States. Plenty warm there. So what all of that means for us down at the surface for the rest of the day today, sunny sky, maybe a few clouds coming in this afternoon. High temperatures pretty close to seasonal averages, about 103 to 107. But that humidity is low, so it's not quite as bad, I guess. It's still hot, though. For tonight, skies are clear, air is dry, overnight lows in the 70s for most of us, maybe around 80 or the low 80s for the urban core. And I mean right there at Sky Harbor, maybe downtown Phoenix. But other than that, it's going to be a pretty nice night by July standards. And then here is tomorrow. We are sunny again in the early morning hours. We'll turn partly sunny through the rest of the day. We'll have some high clouds around. High temperatures will be a little bit warmer, though, around 106 to 110. And that upper low that's been so dominant for the last few days, it's going to start to lift northward and should be absorbed by the parent low over the Gulf of Alaska. Ridging from the east is going to try to start to nose in here and those upper heights come up. But really, with this very dry air, we don't need a big 597 ridge sitting right on top of us to get good heat because we still have the very strong July sun. That sun angle is well above 70 degrees at this latitude. And so as a result, yeah, it's still going to be hot. That dry air heats very efficiently. It cools well, it heats nicely. So as we go to Monday, it's kind of the same story. High temperatures right around 110 degrees. Now, what you will notice Sunday and especially on Monday, we do see evidence of a little bit of moisture creeping in to northwest Mexico, New Mexico, and east central and southeast Arizona for some widely scattered, mainly afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms down there. And the GFS for many, many runs now has been showing some type of low or an inverted trough rotating around the western periphery of this expanding ridge. And ultimately by Monday, Tuesday night, sometime in that time frame, bringing that system into Arizona. But recent runs have suggested this trough doesn't quite get as far into the state as previously advertised. So the focus for storms Monday and even into Tuesday will keep over the eastern third of the state and mainly really the southeastern portion of Arizona for some widely scattered, mainly afternoon and evening showers and storms. Maybe they become a little bit more scattered on Tuesday. Now here in Phoenix, we'll introduce a very small chance of a thunderstorm Tuesday night. It's not out of the question. We might see it in here as the flow aloft is more at least weakly southeasterly. And so a few storms could try to get in here, but the air is still going to be relatively dry. Not as much as it is now, but still, I would say the threat for storms is pretty low. Again, about a 10, maybe 20% chance. And even on Wednesday, this could very well be the best opportunity for precipitation for us. And at best, we're going with about a 20% chance of showers and storms. High temperatures will back off a couple of degrees here. Highs back around 103 to 108. And we'll have partly sunny sky, and certainly the humidity levels will be up from where they are. But the real good dynamics, the deepest moisture still doesn't look like it's going to get in our part of the state. And so the chances of storms just aren't looking that great for us. And here's the other issue. We still are going to have, and at the risk of repeating myself, this big, broad upper low that's over the Gulf of Alaska, the Northeast Pacific, and troughing that's going to, again, kind of reestablish along the West Coast. So that dry southwesterly flow really is just right on our doorstep. Even if it does get nudged back to the west a little bit, it's right there. So it's not as if we're really going to get deep into the monsoon soup here. Let's keep going. This is Thursday. Partly sunny, slight chance of late afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. That's about the best we can hope for as a low-grade monsoon. High temperatures will still be around 103 to 108. Let's keep it going. This is Friday. And chances of storms don't look that great. Maybe along the rim in the eastern mountains, the southeastern portion of the state. Wouldn't even be surprised if we didn't see anything here in the lower deserts. But the GFS wants to keep moisture levels up a little bit, so we'll still call for a slight chance of a storm in here. But I would be a little bit surprised if we got anything out of this now. And that's definitely a departure from where our forecast was just a couple of days ago. Here's a week from today. This is Saturday, the 2nd of August. And we've got the ridge, 594 to 597 ridge now, building across eastern Arizona and western New Mexico. And that's a real favorable spot for us to get toasty. It's nudging the ridge away a little bit, but that's not a very good position for monsoon moisture. Yeah, we'd still have a little bit around here, and there would be some isolated afternoon and evening showers and storms. But with the presence of such a strong, intense ridge, all that heat here, the mid-levels of the atmosphere kind of warm, we'd have a capping inversion, and I just don't think we'd get anything here in the lower deserts. The one thing it would do is increase temperatures here. We'd have highs at least above 110, possibly approaching 115 degrees in the hottest deserts if that verifies. Remains to be seen, though. Here is Sunday, the 3rd of August. And again, that ridge is... it weakens slightly. Upper height's about 594 decameters, but it's just broad, this elongated upper ridge that's over the southwest. That's just not favorable for getting deep monsoon moisture in here. A little bit. We could see a seep of moisture perhaps. So again, we won't completely rule out a few showers and storms in the higher terrain in the southeastern portion of the state. But here in the lower deserts, the chance is certainly going to be under 10%. In that kind of a setup. Going out 10 days, this is Monday, the 4th of August. And it's kind of the same old story, just this elongated ridge that is nested over the southwest, and its exact positioning, may shift a little west. We might see another ridge center set up to the east of us, so there could still be at least a few showers and thunderstorms around, but the primary concentration of storms would remain over northern Mexico and well south of us. So all this is going to do is keep us hot and mainly dry through the period. All right. And by the way, you'll note that upper low, it's still out there. It's over the Northeast Pacific. This pattern just doesn't want to really break. And we would really love to see that low relax a bit or back away a bit and maybe get that subtropical ridge to build up across the west. And we have seen runs where it does, but for the most part, yeah, it sure looks like we're going to stay dry. Now, the rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble, and I will say this is out through the 9th of August, and this looks okay. On paper, this is all right. I mean, the ensemble means about 1/3 of an inch, but you got a couple of members that show nothing at all, and the GFS has not done a very good job. The ensemble has not done a very good job at advertising precipitation. The European ensemble has had a much better handle on this, and the ensemble mean here is just barely over 1/10 of an inch, and there's quite a few of the 51 members in this ensemble that show no rain at all for the next couple of weeks. And I will tell you quite candidly, based on how things are going, that is somewhat realistic. And people that are new here, you think, oh, it's a desert, it's supposed to be dry. But this is the monsoon season. This is where we get a fair amount of the rainfall that we normally get during the year is in this time period from late June through September. And the last several years outside of 2021, 2022 was kind of an average year. 2021 was a robust monsoon. But other than that, You look at 2018, 2019, 2020, 23, 24, dud of monsoon seasons there, monsoons. And we'd really love to break that streak that we're building and that trend that we're going through. Sure doesn't look like it. Temperatures off the national blend of models. All right. Yeah, it's going to be hot, especially tomorrow, Monday. And really, daytime highs are going to stay at or above seasonal averages for the most part on any given day. If we can somehow get some storms in here and maybe break it up a little bit, we could see a slightly cooler day one of these days. But overall, looks like temperatures will remain at or above average. Here's the Climate Prediction Center outlook, the 8 to 14 day outlook. This is for the period of August 2nd through the 8th. Temperatures is what we're looking at here. Man, if you're in the Great Lakes, the Northeast, that's the place to be. Looks like probability is skewed toward below average temperatures there. Whereas out here in the Southwest, we are at least skewed somewhat toward above average temperatures. Rainfall. Well, now over the Southwest, the CPC guys have us in the near normal category. And we'd take that because that would at least mean we'd get something. But I have a feeling that August 2nd through 8th right now, at least based on how model trends are going, it doesn't look like we're going to have a really good opportunity for precipitation. And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video due back on Monday morning, but updates before that if necessary. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you're really enjoying what we do here, you want to support the channel, well, please do click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. It's called a super thanks, and donate to us that way, or via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's GROFF show@gmail.com for PayPal. Our Venmo is also linked up down in the description, so you can help us out that way. But if you can't do any of that, you're simply watching these videos, your subscription to this channel, your comments, your likes, your shares, all of that helps in the old algorithms, so we do appreciate that. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out, blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, possibly Adriana related, all linked up down in the description. Also, our streaming station, it's called KMGX. We play a ton of music and have a lot of fun over there, for which Michelle is the VP of operations. So again, highly encourage you to check it out. KMGX, a lot of music, a lot of fun, linked up in the description. Check out Dan, the Courtroom Files YouTube channel. Great content at a great price. And if you want to become a channel member over there, just a couple of bucks a month and even more content. Guys got content stacked on content. And I'm jealous. I wish we had that much. Hey, look, if we had monsoon season around here, if we actually had some thunderstorms to talk about, we'd have content on content. But unfortunately, we don't. So maybe we're going to have to start our own thing. We're going to have to, well, he's got the courtrooms covered. Maybe we'll have to do, what are we going to do? I don't know. Maybe we'll set up a Freya cam. You can just watch Freya 24/7. That would probably outdraw this channel. That's for sure, especially right now. All right, currently Freya's sleeping, I believe, so. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, all of your continued support. It is so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there. Maybe we'll do a rain dance, and you guys have yourselves a terrific rest of your Saturday.